Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Creative Critique. Now, the newly released theatrical film that I went to see this week is a film that we in the UK are lucky to actually always get ahead of the American audience. And that is, of course, the newest Marvel film, which is, of course, Captain America Civil War. Now, I'm going to straight from the start that I'm going to do this review with people pretty much having... I'm going to go on the assumption that most people who are watching this will know what has gone on in previous films, so there's not going to be a lot of plot explaining regarding certain character aspects, or just general plot aspects, like I said. So, unfortunately, it might cut out a bit of an audience for people who have not seen these films before, but this is the 13th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I'm going to assume most people who are going to see this film have seen all those other films. So, yes, here we go, right, Captain America Civil War. Now, like I say, I'm doing it for the people who have seen it generally, and probably for people who have seen the previous films. So I'm going to begin with what the whole film pretty much depends upon, really, and that is, of course, do we believe in the animosity between Rogers and Stark? And the answer is pretty much a blurred, kind of. Yes, of course, we've seen snippets of their characters butting heads in previous films and heard their snarky remarks towards each other. But what does have to be believable is the fact that that can escalate to pretty much having to kill each other in support of their own principles and ideals. And like I said, it kind of achieves it. And I'll try and do my best to say why it kind of achieves it, because there I'm going to start off, let's say, the first act. Yes, I know it has to attempt to build up that animosity, but it does feel a little slow in pacing, yet somehow that character dynamic is quickly accelerated too much, I felt. So I feel the acceleration of the animosity from a particular level to I want to kill you level in order to stop what's going on was a bit too quick, personally. That's just my opinion. There's no doubt there's certainly good enough reasons, in particular from Stark's point of view, I understand why Rogers believes what he does, but it's very hard to get behind him. So in terms of actually, are you on the Stark, are you on the Rogers side? I am personally on the Stark side. What effectively is going on? I'll try and do a very, very brief idea of what's going on. Effectively, after all the events in the previous Marvel films, and also a particular incident at the beginning of this film, the question is raised pretty much throughout the world is, should we be allowing effectively these superpowered humans just being allowed to go into other countries, deal with threats, yes, but then not deal with any consequences of what went on in those countries. So it's a political sort of political border sort of scenario, if you will. So in terms of Stark is on the side of, right, okay, there should be repercussions for this. There should be an oversight in terms of what we're doing, and we shouldn't be able to. Obviously, given what has happened in Ultron, in Age of Ultron, with what he did, those incidents are probably become more closer to the bone than anybody else in any other character in the film. Rogers, obviously, having been about during the World War II with regard of the Nazis and putting people in boxes and things like that, and believes that there should be some sort of ability to not have oversight but still have... I don't know how to explain it better. Maybe this is the problem, because I can't explain exactly Rogers' argument as well as Stark. So there you go. That pretty much shows why I'm in support of Stark more than Rogers. Now, there's been a lot of opinions regarding that. People think this is the best Marvel film to date. I'm not quite that enthusiastic. I think there's extremely good aspects to the film. I mean, extremely good moments. But I feel I've had at least 3 other films better. I personally feel The Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy and the original Iron Man are much better films. This is juggling a lot more. And it's obviously something that the Marvel Universe is having to do more and more. And that, in part, is a little bit to not... Well, it's in part to my opinion of what is a detriment to the film. There's a need, obviously, for quite a few superheroes in order to create allies and then create that animosity and create a big battle scene between the two. And let's just go, okay, let's skip to that battle scene. because effectively it is obviously then you got what two teams of Stark's team and Rogers' team, and it's an airport scene in the middle act of the film. My word, is it brilliant. There's no doubt about it. It is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best action fighting segments I've seen in a Marvel film. That's not high enough compliment, is it, really? Because there's some truly wonderful action, there's some truly wonderful comedy moments, particularly with the introduction of Spider-Man, which I'm just going to very briefly touch on. He's extremely well utilised in the film. There's actually more of him in the film I thought there was going to be, as well. Which was good, because I'm glad it wasn't just a brief, cameo fight scene, then out again. There was actually a little bit of build-up between how he is suddenly involved, with Stark involved. So, yeah, some great comedic stuff from Spider-Man, and also, flipping heck, some fantastically comedic stuff from Paul Rudd and Ant-Man. I mean, he literally does rock up in a van. Pretty much, him and Spider-Man steal every comedic. Pretty much, they compensate for the first act's lack of humour tenfold, because Ant-Man and Spider-Man in this segment are so ridiculously funny. There's so much going on regarding their interactions with the other heroes. Spider-Man interactions with Winter Soldier and with Anthony Mackie's Falcon, and also with Ant-Man, just generally involved with everybody, to be honest, in different aspects. Fantastically comedic moments, some fantastic spectacle action on show. That's a fantastic, fantastic action scene. Like I say, one of the best action fighting segments I've seen in a Marvel film. That's one of my highest compliments of the film. Now, in part after seeing that scene though, because I was actually kind of juggling with the concept of whether, now to say it saves a big part of the film would be disrespectful to other things the film is doing really well, but there's no doubt in my mind that it gave the film one hell of a shot in the arm, pun intended, for those who know, later in the film. And it was certainly needed. On another note, I will say that the Cold War conspiracy feel that the Winter Soldier, that made the Winter Soldier work, does it? Does that conspiracy theory, does that conspiracy feel of the Winter Soldier work when you throw umpteen gifted superheroes into the mix? Because there was a nice little a small group of that sort of feel, and I felt there was too many characters in order to get that feel again. It seems like they were once again throwing somebody in and then throwing somebody else in, and then to create that sort of, I don't know, I don't think it quite, for me personally, a lot of people do think it has, but I don't think it's quite achieved what it needs to with that feel that the Russos did. Now, there's no doubt there's some extremely superb character moments, and one of them was the introduction of Black Panther, which I thought was really well handled. I can't wait to see more of him in his own film. And like I say, previously, Ant-Man and Spider-Man pretty much bossed the film's entire humour, and in part, in that one segment, which kind of gives you the feel of the rest of the film in a way, and that's what they're going for. They're going for that more sombre theme, and more important themes going on in the film. It just didn't quite hit the heights for me. Just didn't quite hit the heights. But it's still very, very good. Yeah. Stark does get a few good ones in, and Falcon is actually really grown on me as well. Anthony Mackie, he got some. There's a really nice moment with him in a car with Bucky, and that's all I'm going to say. But I suppose this is what Marvel is right now: generally slickly made and pretty entertaining films, while still trying to juggle an array of characters. Let's face it, it's a miracle these films are as good as they are with a number of things they're trying to do. So overall, there's a few issues on my part, but it's still one hell of an entertaining film, and I enjoyed many aspects of it. What is more to say? Yeah, that's my general opinion on what is going on in the film. Towards the end of the film, I will say I got on board with a few more of the animosity aspects, and there's a revelation that it kind of seen coming, but is extremely, extremely helpful to that plot aspect of creating the Rogers and Stark animosity between each other. Like I just said, there's a few issues, but it's still one hell of an entertaining film. I enjoyed many aspects of it. So there we go, Captain America, Civil War. An extremely busy film, but an extremely entertaining film. Yeah, there we go, my theatrically released film of the week. I will now move on to my classic film of the week, and already by the tone of my voice, you know it's going to be an absolute classic, because it's a film that is pretty much in my own DNA. It is one of the films that really introduced me to a different side of cinema and what wonders cinema can bring. And the film in question is 1979 sci-fi horror film, directed by Ridley Scott and starring that old wonderful Sigourney Weaver, Alien. Yeah, I mean, what can I start off with by saying? I will start off by saying, first of all, I'm going to go on about the design. So, first of all, obviously we have the Swiss artist H.R. Giger, who had a lot of the, in particular, design of the alien and particularly the design of the spaceship and things like that. So the design of the film, the set design, is truly wonderful, and the design of the alien is something that was never ever seen before on screen. It's something that created created a new horror icon. That is what this film did, and in particular a horror monster. Everything from the very subtle music, from the way that the film opens, where it's just a blank space. Well, it is space, with slowly the letters of alien forming on the screen, to a very tense and nervous, like I say, quiet score. Like, oh, what is this? What is going on? What are we going to see? That is what it created in my mind. And that's a wonderful opening segment. We effectively open on the ship. What effectively the general plot is, there's a mining ship called Nostromo that features a mining crew. Of course it does. All of the people involved, like I say, Sigourney Weaver is the main character, but she's not the captain of the ship. The captain is played by Thomas Skerritt. We have effectively the engineers who are Yaphet Kotto and Harry Dean Stanton. And we have a science officer played by Ian Holm. And we have other flight technicians played by Veronica Cartwright and John Hurt. So that's your crew of the ship. Some nice sort of mixing of American and British cast there. Really good character actors, and yeah, some really good choices for this. Their characters, and I will just say, is particularly to the likes of Yaphet Kotto and Harry Stanton, you get their characters straight away. You get what their purpose, and even with Veronica Cartwright, you can see stuff there that is a developed character. You don't see much of her in terms of it, but you see things that there's animosity between characters. You can see little things that people don't get on, and very quickly, and not so it's straight on the nose. It's very subtle and little looks and little way they talk to each other. So it's extremely well from the character sort of interaction development. What effectively is they're on a mining ship, and they get a distress call from a planet, and it's from a spaceship. They don't know what or who it is, but part of their contract, they have to investigate any distress signal or any possible forms of new life. So they investigate the spaceship. John Hurt, Tom Skerritt, and Veronica Cartwright go on the ship. They encounter an extremely fossilised body with something that has appeared to have burst out of said body. John Hurt then finds a cavern where there seems to be lots of eggs in there, and then the horror begins. I won't go into too much in terms of no, I have to. I will go into certain bits, but I won't go into some of them just in case nobody has. Just maybe people haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil off the aspects of the film, because this film is sort of film you should be enjoying for the first time without any spoilers, because it's truly superb. Like I say, the atmosphere of the film is extremely tense and extremely well built up. In fact, really, for about 50 minutes, that's how long it probably takes to about build up to really get going. And I mean, and that's not too slow. That's extremely well built up. I think with things going on with the ship and things going on with characters, like I said previously, it's extremely well done. Then things happen. Bad things happen. And from then on, it's effectively how can I describe it? It's a cat and mouse game between some sort of creature. An alien creature, of course. And it comes in many forms. We have obviously the facehugger, we have the chestburster, and we have the alien xenomorph, as it has been dubbed since. And each one is beautifully designed, like I say, by H.R. Giger, and extremely, extremely well performed, and used by puppets or even by somebody in a costume. But it's extremely well designed, and it creates an incredible sense of horror and fear. Kind of because you don't know what you're looking for at first. If you've never seen that, you're like, a few times after you've seen the film, you know what you're looking at sometimes. But the fact it's well merged into the environment is what makes this creature so unique in design. It has many aspects to it. Like it has acid for blood, defense mechanism. That's amazing. And some plot twists you may not see coming as well regarding particular characters. Wonderful, like I say, wonderful design, wonderful performance. Sigourney Weaver created a character cinema icon in Ellen Ripley, and just kicks ass. Effectively, I want to be blunt about it. She just absolutely kicks ass. It's a truly wonderful film. Like I say, for many aspects, the music is great. It's greatly paced. It's tense. It envelops many horrors. There's even little bits of humour in the film. Obviously, like I say, it's horror and sci-fi, and I think that game of cat and mouse is truly wonderful, particularly when there's the vent situation. Oh my god, you've never seen that scene before. It is the reason why it's been so mimicked and so spoofed is because it's so wonderful. It is truly great. The design, I'm going to say, like I say, the design of the film is in part the sound of the ship and the sounds of the ship and that old sort of old future look. If that makes any sense now, looking at it, it's truly wonderful, and it's something that's been really well replicated in the recent game Alien Isolation. It created the feel of the film and it created the intensity of the film, and it's the only natural successor game-wise to Alien. There we go. It's a truly fantastic film, Alien. Ridley Scott, I think it was his second directorial film. He makes good sci-fi, doesn't he? Blade Runner and Alien. Yeah. We'll maybe gloss over Prometheus for obvious reasons. Yeah, I won't go into it right now. But fantastic director by Ridley Scott. Great performances, greatly designed by H.R. Giger. Some fantastic use of mirrors on sets and things like that to create the illusion of space and things like that. Like I say, brilliant spaceship design, brilliant planet design, brilliant alien design, fantastic music, brilliant dialogue, some really good dialogue, and some absolutely iconic moments that you will never ever forget after seeing them, whether on DVD or in the cinema, as I have seen them both. In fact, I saw Alien this week as part of an Alien double bill, Alien and Aliens, and because it was the 30th anniversary of Aliens. I hope anybody did see that as well, because it was truly wonderful back to back, and I have never enjoyed myself probably as much in cinema as I have at that moment. It's a truly fantastic film. I cannot speak highly of it enough. Please, if you have not watched Alien, please watch this film. Sigourney Weaver, you are a ledge. Ridley Scott for this film, you are a ledge. There we go. Alien is my classic film of the week. And Captain America Civil War was my theatrically released film of the week. It's two films that are extremely enjoyable. One extremely iconic, one playing around with in so much fun aspects, but truly very enjoyable films. And I do hope if you have, thank you for watching. If you have, if you enjoy what I'm about to say, please do subscribe to me. And I do hope to see and speak to you again very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.